me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have any comments from the audience? None. How about corrections to the agenda or the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second. Motion and a second. And that motion passes. So that brings us to 6A, San Bernardino Class 1 Bike Trail Project, Upper Trophy River Waterline Crossing. Adrian? Back it up.
Right there.
I like it.
Yeah, because it went a little bit more.
Okay.
There we go. It's a little more to the left.
Not sure if Mike's working.
So these be plugged in down there.
I'm the senior engineer for the district. This item is to build a pipeline along with the Class 1 San Bernardino bike trail that the county is building from West San Bernardino to Paradise Park. Our plan is to build a pipeline that's going to be hung from the bridge and underground for the rest of the way. The purpose of this is to enter into an agreement with them that's similar to a reimbursement agreement, except we would be putting the money into an escrow account up front. As the contractor builds the project, we'll sign off on progress payments, and then the county will be able to withdraw that money directly from the escrow account. We did provide them with preliminary plans, and there is an issue with the bridge and being able to take the loads of the water line. Right now, the county is looking into what type of upgrades the bridge would need to support our water line. An alternate solution to that would be as directional drilling for the river. The agreement is based on the above ground pipeline hanging from the bridge. Asking to take a look at what that price differential is going to be on the bridge, and we would consider upgrading the bridge to hang the pipeline. But again, alternatively, we could directional drill beneath the river. But yeah, so I wanted to move forward with this agreement based on hanging the bridge and hanging the pipeline from the bridge. But if we are not able to do that, or if there's going to be a significant cost upgrade associated with that, we would bring that back to the board for amendment. Any questions?
So there's an existing infrastructure that goes under there currently?
Yeah, there's an existing signage AC line that goes underneath the river, and it's the suction line for our flagpole booster station, which provides water to our upper truck neighborhood.
What happens with that? Do you pull that out, or do you just leave it in place?
We would abandon it in place.
If we were to do this project ourselves, about what would it cost?
If we were to do this project ourselves without the county, the big thing there would we would have to do all the permitting. We need an Army Corps permit and we need a U.S. Forest Service permit. Right now, they're going to be disturbing the entire area, so it's very beneficial to build a pipeline while we're doing this project. If we were to do it on our own later, it's definitely going to be more expensive. It's going to be more expensive just by doing the company. I'm probably looking at $1,500 increase just on that. Also, mobilization of the contractor. The MPs in the area is going to be a significant increase.
Good, thank you.
For the bridge, it sounds like it needs to be built easier. Is that something, so it wasn't anticipated and now it is, and so who's going to bear the cost of that?
So we did talk about it up front. When their structural first heard about it, they thought their bridge would be able to handle the load. Once they saw the preliminary design, it being a 12-inch water line, they re-looked at it and they were almost at the capacity of their bridge design based on the snow loads. And if we do have to build a beefier bridge to support the water line, we would need to do that upgrade.
I just was curious, the cost meets the budget amount at this revenue?
Yeah, so if you obviously approve this today, this will be having to work into, next year's budget, which are basically, and then maybe have to possibly back something.
Right, and I get, and it kind of goes into a deeper question, something we were talking about, for another matter, but, you know, the budget amount, I guess, is this kind of just indicative of just inherent cost increases we're seeing everywhere? Like, you see on home, this is, you know, or we start to see, I mean, this is relatively dramatic, but just in general, what we see at our budget was, say, 5 years ago to today. I mean, what kind of percentage increase are we talking about the project? Just real ballpark, obviously.
So actually, the budgeted amount of like 226 grand, that was originally just looking at hanging the pipeline from the bridge, but we weren't going to do the underground portion that would go from Upper Truckee River to West San Bernardino or to Paradise Park parking lot. So that increase in budget is for that extra pipeline that is basically going to be completely within the boundaries of the El Dorado County project.
Okay, so it's increased scope as well.
Yeah, increased scope.
And you've added 25% on top of your estimate, is that correct?
Correct.
Was it on the 10-year plan originally? To replace that water line?
This has been on the 10-year plan for probably 5 years. As soon as
So it was something that was there already?
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity to do something about it?
Exactly. When we learned that the county had this project coming up, and this is a critical line, you know, it's one of few places where we have water mains that actually cross major streams. We said, okay, this is our opportunity. So, but as Adrian said, the scope has increased over the course of this year because the opportunity grew. We're not focusing just on the immediate area of crossing, but beyond.
So I agree. I think this is, of course, an opportunity. To your point, you know, you don't want to deal with the cost and time associated with this permitting exercise that you can get around it right now. So, you know, I'm fully supportive, but I think that's, you know, excellent kind of utilization of kind of an ongoing effort by another entity. I mean, I do have some kind of, just as we're sitting here now, and I think we may not be prepared to even have this discussion, but something will get bounced. And what is that something? You know, it's something I'm considering, but to that point, due to the uniqueness of this opportunity, I think you have to grab it. I just do have some concern about what impact this bounce as a result.
Yeah, remember this project's been at least 10 years on our 10-year plan. And I'm just thinking 10 years ago, looking at the cost of this project was well over $1 million, perhaps $2 million 10 years ago. I think there's really significant savings by working with the county.
Right, we were looking at a more extensive replacement, right? And
Yeah.
then scaled it back when we heard what they were doing, and now it's going to go.
Right. Yeah, we're heavily dependent on that water line that goes under the river. That's been somewhat alleviated with the Grizzly Booster Station. But we still need that water line. It's just in a really precarious situation out there, and it's been on down the 10-year plan for many years. So it's a great opportunity to get it at, I think, really fraction the cost.
Sorry, not to go too deep in the weeds, but just out of curiosity, just from a load-bearing perspective, to the water, how much, what is the increase? I mean, it just struggles to, I guess, I'm working on bridge projects now, actually, it just seems like a lot.
Okay, so for most bridges, adding a water line to the bridge is not a big deal, but those are usually bridges where vehicular traffic is passing. This one, just being a pedestrian bridge, is designed for a lot less load. So the weight of the water plus the pipe is significant for a bridge like this.
Especially when you're considering the huge snow loads that they have to design for out there.
Well, yeah, they need to be able to pass emergency vehicles and things like that. Because I understand some of the, like, fire truck.
Yeah, but even with that, well, that's why I was just curious, because I know, given the snow loads that you're utilizing, the capacity is pretty extensive as it exists now for even a pedestrian bridge. And so that's why, length times, that it just, and I'm not questioning it, it just was, pure like a curiosity.
One of the things they said was the span that they got there, the truck river is 150 feet, which was almost basically as far as they could come.
Like, I'm trying to be on this area since you can go back.
Simple hardship permit.
Anything else?
Move to approve.
Also,
Do we have a motion and a second? And that motion passes unanimously. Okay, that brings us to 6B, election of board officers. So we need to elect a board president for 2020.
I will nominate, I'd like to do it over here.
I'll second that too. I think that, the job takes a little time to get kind of up to speed, and she's up to speed. Taking another year to, do a great job. I see no reason to change, so I second it.
Great work, yeah.
We have a motion and a second. And that motion passes unanimously. Okay. So now we need to elect a board vice president for the 2022 calendar year. And following the same line of thinking, I would like to nominate David Peterson.
I'll second that, let me hear it.
And we have a motion and a second.
That's what I was
And that motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That moves us to payment of claims. I'm going to move approval of payment of claims in the amount of $1,108,125.10. Motion and a second. Well, you guys are faster now. The motion passes. See, look at the computer screen here. I know. Go back there and do that one more time. Just so that we have it all official, the okay, there we go. Did you see it? It did come up and I cleared it, so we didn't have to. Okay. It's not on mine. It was unanimous. That brings us to standing and ad hoc committees and liaison reports. Anybody have any?
Yes, we actually had a solar ad hoc committee meeting, actually not turned into a renewal ad hoc committee meeting. So the solar project, it's kind of the sausage making process of actually using some board questions, and everything's being worked out. We also had an opportunity to talk about biomass. Chris and I just had an opportunity to talk about biomass a few weeks ago, and I continually reference it, so I'll reference it again, but that was just a point of conversation. But other than that, kind of the process of moving forward.
We had an operations committee meeting on Monday. Basically went through operational and engineering issues. Nothing really stands out. I guess the Tahoe well has high amperage. It sounds like it's a puzzle that staff is trying to figure out what's going on there. But we had trouble last summer, as you recall, and then they changed out the pump, and all was well for a little while. But now they're getting high amperages again. So anyway, it's something that needs to get worked out before the irrigation season, so staff's on it, they're working that issue. Shane, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, staff continues to work through some water quality issues at 3 or 4 different locations. And seems like hold on, all these different situations in the South Tahoe, Tahoe well, and some other areas.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I guess this one is the thing, executive committee met regarding the general manager's contract today, so nothing to report on that. It's a HR issue, so it's something I wouldn't want to report on until we get a contract arranged with the general manager. Kelly, anything to add to that?
No, that sounds perfect. Okay, board member reports. Yeah.
Working on. The snow is here, so I won't be working tomorrow.
Just one thing, today on Nextdoor, which hopefully everybody doesn't spend their entire day on, there was a pretty good chat back and forth about the Adopt a Hydrant program. And it started with just a citizen that volunteered that he had made the decision to dig out his hydrant adjacent to his house. And so some chatter went back and forth. I congratulated him, said, it's something we've been puzzling over. And the fire department also chimed in and said they're not budgeted to dig these things out in a proactive fashion. They do have some priority hydrants that they do. I'm not aware of what that looks like. Perhaps you guys are, but anyway, it was a good discussion, and I would. If there's a way somebody in the district gets that, Shelley, I don't know if you can tap into that thing and get John kind of up to speed on what was said. But it'd be nice to get a hold of that person at the fire department and find out which hydrants they dig out, and is there a way to coordinate it. I was kind of thinking that for this Adopt a Hydrant program, as it moves along, it'd be nice to first of all indemnify the volunteer. He might be on vacation the day we get a big snow dump and then somebody's house burns down and somebody points at him and says, well, that's your hydrant, you didn't dig it out, it's your fault, and my house burned. So they need to be indemnified. The other thing would be, it would be nice if we could have some sort of recognition once a year for all the volunteers that do that. Whether that be a, pizza party here or a gift certificate or some public acknowledgement on our website, list their name and that sort of thing. So acknowledge the volunteers.
Yeah, that's Adopt a Hydrant, great idea. We started on that earlier this year. Been working with Chris Stanley. He reached out. I think Shelley worked with Chris as well. Reached out to the fire agencies. I think we had some traction. We're planning to maybe do some outreach in maybe November of this year. I think what I heard from Chris is that with the Tahoe fire and everything else, that whole schedule got delayed, but I think definitely now is the time to get back on that and get this done in 22.
I think people that live by hydrants, lots of people just don't think about it. Maybe full disclosure, when I first bought my house, I didn't think about it. As a stuff under over 500 in my house. So I think just, some education for people that live around hydrants is just going to make them aware of it. Well.
Shelley?
Yeah, so FIRE stands for Fire Public Information Team, and it's all the fire districts around the basin meet monthly to talk about public outreach. And so I'm working with the fire pit team on creating a regional Adopt a Hydrant program. We're going to market it as a take care campaign. So if you've seen the stickers that say like, hide your trash here, drink Tahoe tap, be number one at picking up your dog's number 2. Those are all take care messages. So we're working with that designer. We've already had meetings with them to try to come up with the right phrasing for the Adopt a Hydrant program. Each fire district has different rules on how many feet you dig it out around your hydrant. So from that page, people can access individual fire districts' pages right now, we're not talking about tracking people's names associated with the hydrant. It's going to be more of a outreach social media campaign, tag your hydrant, he was said hashtag, take a picture, whatever. Because like you said, it's hard to, just because you volunteer to shovel out a hydrant doesn't mean it's completely your responsibility, right? It's to try to help our whole community. So yes, the goal, the hope was that it would happen by the end of this year, but our designer's schedule is a little bit delayed. So definitely this winter we'll be doing lots of outreach with this messaging regionally, North Shore, South Shore, all the fire districts, water districts, etc.
Also, just one of the obstacles I see, better in the winter, indicate where hydrants are located, and maybe, work with the city and snow plows to cut before they hit hydrants. Because I know hydrants right now in my neighborhood are probably under 7 feet of icy snow that have been pushed aside. So to get through that now, legitimately you need a pickaxe. And so, I think that is dissuading lots of people to get full disclosure. That's dissuaded me, because it's hours and hours of effort. So, you see how they cut it on the road generally. So if you could have clear markings as to where the hydrant is, minimize the need and time expenditure to keep it clean, I think it works for everybody's benefit.
Yeah, and actually, if the city would be so kind as to put their guard down when they go in front of a hydrant, they'll do it on your driveway if you're standing in your driveway.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get the burn. But when they burn across those hydrants like that, it's.
Well, there's exactly so there's one down the street of my house is an example of Los Angeles, and right now, like I said, it would take you hours and hours to get to. And it just is problematic to get to, but if you put it down, you could have gotten to it in 25 minutes, and people would do that instantly. So I think that would be something to kind of coordinate with the city as well.
Well, something to think about. Those hours and hours you're talking about, that's why they will take the fire department.
Well, you listen, consider your house is on fire. Right, no, what I mean is, but like, when you look at things, how you get people to act, it's always, minimizing, the obstacles to get there. And so I think something that simple would be dramatic as far as getting people to engage in the process.
On that identification issue, I wonder maybe is that area something you can look into? Necessary.
We're not planning on collecting names. We're not planning on having a database, mainly because it's a regional messaging. And so it's all water districts, all fire districts around Tahoe. So it's more just an outreach campaign to encourage people to adopt a hydrant. To encourage people to dig out a hydrant.
Yeah, not be assigned to the hydrant.
We could take a quick look to see, there are some immunities for volunteers on things that might apply. We could take a quick look at that, and if we think it's applicable, we can give it to Shelley.
Yeah, I would think it'd fall under the Good Samaritan. Just trying to save someone with CPR, you fail, and you tried your best. I don't know. That's your job, Gary. I'll make it look good and sound good. You figure out all the good stuff.
Probably similar to Good Samaritan laws. Like if you help somebody in a car wreck, as a Good Samaritan, you can't be held liable if you accidentally, if their neck was broken, you move them. That ends it for them. As a Good Samaritan, you are protected.
If we could show that there was something that people dig this out, they aren't going to be exposed to liability or something, that might encourage them to do it.
Yeah, I think folks have that question or concern that they brought up. The next point of minimizing obstacles, might be an obstacle for some people to mediate. So, okay, thanks, Shelley. We'll bring that back to court soon.
Soon is a relative word.
Next quarter.
Water agency purveyor report, so Dave, you had asked me to represent and maybe got
You got Yeah, they haven't had those, so.
I just have one more just for member reports. Just John invited me to part of SDPB's 5 Days of Christmas, and I was able to deliver burritos to the lower shops here, and then some lower shops, and then
That's where Pumps is located.
it's 2 by 2 out here. Get a chance to check it out here and see
Drive around.
That's fun. And it's good to see all the guys, and I just want to compliment staff for doing a really great job of taking care of snow. I mean, the facilities look great, so thanks.
Thanks, appreciate you joining us today.
staff with attorney report. Nothing. Okay, John, you're up.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. We'll start out with Act 3 updates on staffing. For pump station operator, we received 27 qualified applications for the advertisement that closed on November 8th. And we interviewed 5 on Tuesday, made a selection, and we're now in the pre-employment process. This will bring pumps crew back up to full strength. Our advertisement for underground repair water closed on December 8th, and we're reviewing about 20 applications right now, 1 internal candidate, and interviews are planned the first half of January, somewhere in that. And now, and until January 19th, we are advertising for a grants coordinator, as Lynn will be retiring May 3rd. We're wanting to have, I think, at least 4 to 6 weeks of overlap with Lynn and the new person before she departs, so just planning ahead for that. And moving on to a COVID update, we have no employees out for any reason due to COVID. Many of our staff received a booster at the vaccination clinic at the college last Friday. There is a new mask mandate out there issued by CDPH, and that's in place for the next 4 weeks. At this point at the district, we've been wearing masks in common areas for many months now, so really nothing new for us here. Next item is federal funding outlet. A lot going on there. I just wanted to mention a number of federal funding sources that we are really hotly pursuing. First, in the current proposed federal budget, the district has a community funding grant, also known as an earmark. This is $7 million specifically to the district for waterline projects. And we're hoping it stays in the budget and that budget will be, approved early next year. So that would be great news. Second, we're submitting 7 waterline projects totaling $20 million to the state revolving fund. That's California. These will then be in the queue and in line for potential infrastructure grants. This is federal funding coming out of that $7 billion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that was recently passed. And that money will be coming from DC to the state through the State Water Board's SRF program, the State Revolving Fund. So we're getting more projects in line for potentially a lot more grant funding, not just low interest loans. We're also looking at some sewer projects to that potential funding list. And thirdly, we're expecting to see $4.5 million in FEMA funding coming in through the California OES, Office of Emergency Services, for generator and seismic projects, and we'll be applying for battery backups where feasible, as well as we're also going to be submitting another, we're still working on this, perhaps $3 million in mitigation projects for our own building hardening efforts, early warning camera systems, and permanent soil stabilization in Alpine County. So, a lot of money, potential money coming in from multiple fronts on the state and federal side. Next item, FEMA reimbursements and fire reimbursements. On the Colorado fire, I'll start there. So far, we have submitted $660,000 to FEMA for reimbursement expenses related to the Colorado fire. And actually, we're working on some more, perhaps another $100,000. So we're looking at about $760,000 total. About half of this is for the district's own crew time, emergency operations center supplies, and our own equipment, trucks and generators. So Lynn's really been working extensively with FEMA on this. And we really, we expect to receive about 94% reimbursement of these total expenses. So a lot of work, but definitely worth the effort. A lot more money than I thought initially. Tamarack Fire, the district has submitted about $300,000 in expenses related to debris removal, fence repair, and soil stabilization. We're expecting about $200,000 more to come in on this request. This will be going to the state for 75% reimbursement. And I just want to add one more item, just a quick update on the storm and the district's response to the storm. Of course, lots of power outage and road issues all over. But at district facilities, we're doing our own snow removal, and those operations are going well, really no problems. We're monitoring and refueling sewer and water generators. That's going well, no major issues, but it really has the electricians and our mechanics running all over town. We have many dozens of those facilities all over town. At Luther Pass, we've been running our generators there quite a bit. Due to power concerns, and we're currently don't have the kind of surge protection out there that we need. So we're working to reinstall that surge protection, but in the meantime, we see problems with high winds and risks out there. We're going to go on the generator. But given our weather, and I just heard this afternoon, we're going to be going back on Liberty Power at Luther Pass. At the treatment plant in the customer service building, we've been on and off generator over the last few days, depending on power availability and reliability. And really, I think it helps Liberty recover faster when we can take some of the load off, whether it's at Luther Pass or at the plant. So we've been doing that as well. Right now, we're on Liberty Power. And with our standby power here at the plant in this building, we have kind of been kind of a safe haven for some of our staff to take showers, recharge phones, computers, and maybe warm up a little with all the power outages at home. So that's been good to see, really. And then finally, as Shane mentioned, he joined me today to deliver some lunches to our crew, but amid the snowstorm this week, the district holiday committee is bringing 5 days of stupid cheer to brighten up the year with daily deliveries of lollipops and popcorn and donuts and candy canes or lunch. So thanks for joining us today, and thanks to the holiday committee. I think that's Susan, Shelley, Melanie, Marla, and just anybody, Liz and Dana. Thank you very much.
She wear a beard, don't you?
Everybody's out of my lap.
I tried to get him to wear a wig. No go.
Done. You didn't know he was going to. This is the great part.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks, Phil.
Okay. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
So with Liberty and some of the challenges they've been facing, is there anything that SDPD can do to help support, like snow removal or equipment, or is there anything do they request, or is it they're okay on their own? Or?
I think basically, I mean, we're basically just in first time, or your parents. Do you want to address this? Julie, I think you've been in touch with our business director quite a bit.
I have, specifically with respect to Luther Pass and kind of what how we should protect ourselves. We haven't really talked about what support the district can give the Liberty in times like this.
Yeah, I think other than protecting our side and working with them, we need to shed some load to bring the system back up. I think that's really been the extent of our capabilities of helping them out.
Just to keep our stuff up to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 4 in-house electricians and over 100 ancillary facilities, and so, just them getting what they need in order to respond to that type of emergency is a challenge. So.
Sure.
Just to commend staff again, I saw I've been doing a lot of driving around during the snowstorm and seeing SDPD crews out and taking care of business, so good job.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks, everybody listening out there.
Okay, so you see the notices have passed and your meetings. And that, let's go into closed session. Out of closed session into open session, there's nothing to report.